Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is James, aka Furry K, and today I thought I'd talk about something that's interesting to me that I heard of lately, of the creator or the CEO or the creator of Fallout, not the CEO of Bethesda. I think he's the CEO. I don't know. Tod Howard, who called out Sony Interactive for not accepting the idea of crossplay on their console. Now, this is not something that makes me angry. I mean, we've had companies before not accept certain things or really not agree to certain things, and it ended up splitting communities. This happened back when Sony and Sony had a track record, basically, of not really working well with Bethesda. This being the whole fiasco with the mods that came out following the release of both the remaster of the Skyrim Remastered, and also with Fallout 4 when it came to the mods. Now, mods, for those who don't know what mods are basically things you can add into the game, like characters, voice lines, situations, missions, levels, stuff like that that the fans create, and they can add into the game as something extra for the community to play. Now, with this being said, my brother, he is younger than me, he's about 4 years younger than me, he is a huge nerd when it comes to this stuff. He loves it, he's a huge fan of it, he's been playing. When he first heard of the mod thing, he was ecstatic to hear about it. Mostly because he enjoys mods, he enjoys modding. He watches people who mod games out to play them a certain way. Like, he watches two dudes who play, I believe it's Fallout New Vegas. They modded it to play multiplayer together. Another thing he watched like compilations of people modding out certain voice lines for Fallout, certain voice lines for like Skyrim, like back when Machinima was a huge thing, and they did the whole Skyrim, like, I think it was Poops or something like that. And so my brother loved that stuff. I did too at one point, and I enjoyed it, and I would watch the heck out of it because I found it hilarious. That was back before Machinima became a company that, like EA, basically treated their employees like crap, and treated their community like crap. To me, hearing about Sony not wanting to crossplay with Xbox is not anything new, really, now that I think about it, because Sony and Microsoft have not had the most to put words nicely, the most cooperative relationship when it comes to this type of stuff. This is why certain consoles have certain exclusives. There's why certain games are not on certain consoles. Basically, these companies have had grudges against each other for years. That's why there's a competitive market. That's why the economic market when it comes to gaming is so different. As someone who currently takes economics as a class, I've noticed that economically the way that the way that Sony plays their game is they want to basically place themselves in a bubble, not wanting to really saturate the market saturate their market. They want to place themselves in an area where they can basically, they want to place themselves in a bubble almost. They want to place themselves in a bubble where they can basically do their own thing and not have anybody else come in, because they hate outsiders, basically, is what it is. Now, they let in certain games and they let in certain game companies if it fits their interest. It's like EA. It's also like EA, where if a company or they see a company is doing well, they will let a certain game join their group, or they'll let their certain game be sold on their certain market. It's kind of like the Disney effect, almost, as I call it, where if you remember, Disney owns almost every studio known to man, if that makes sense. We have them currently trying to buy Fox. They own Lucasfilms, which isn't Lucasfilms anymore. They own Marvel. They own Pixar. They own Studio Ghibli. They own... Basically, they own almost every market out there when it comes to TV, television, movie. When it comes to TV, movies, anything, and they can even own games. That's why, hell, they even own parts of Google. That's why you see these frivolous people in Silicon Valley. That's why the state of YouTube is the state of YouTube, is because when Disney got their hands on a certain studio, they got their paws on a certain studio to be able to control them. But I think the one thing also that I see in it is back to the matter hand. I'm going off topic. But basically, Sony and the mouse are almost the same as each other, and they're starting to become the same as each other. They're basically becoming identical twins, that they will buy up whatever they buy if it suits their interest. Now, the whole situation with the crossplay and the Fallout 76 that's coming out, I'll link the video that talks about it better from another YouTuber who I like. He's somebody who could talk about this better than I can, but this is basically me giving my opinion on it. I think that Sony is becoming just like Sony is becoming like Disney, like EA, and they're basically trying to buy up everything that fits their interests. Because if you have interest, that means that you make more money. And when you have more money, the more you can build yourself up to be nearly unstoppable. So you can basically, if you don't like what somebody says about your product, you can basically say that, hey, you can't say that about my product. And if the person tries to sue you, you can counter sue them by saying, we never said this. And since the company has a lot of money, they can basically give the people who, run everything the hush money to be able to say, yeah, we believe them. And so that person can't sue the company if they say something bad about them, and they return with, you can't say that about our product. But yeah, guys, this is my opinion on the whole Sony versus Sony versus Bethesda thing. Bethesda's a good company, in my opinion. I've always loved Bethesda. Bethesda's a good company. I played Fallout. I played Fallouts. I played Fallout 4, 3, New Vegas, and I even played Wasteland. So, which isn't made by Bethesda, but does take place in the Fallout universe. I think, if I remember correctly. So, that being said, guys, hope to see you guys in the next video. Love you. Peace.